Let's stick with Bale, shall we, Sid? You take a look at it. Of course, hasn't started in any of the real big Champions League matches over the last 3 months. It looks like his time is almost up at Madrid. How defining could that performance be in the Camp Nou to his future, or is it doesn't matter? He can score a hat-trick and he still won't be starting Champions League final.
Well, of course, the suspicion is that it doesn't matter. The suspicion is that this has now reached a point of no return, and certainly I think some of the way in which Zidane has managed this, the fact that really and truly Zidane and Gareth Bale aren't talking a huge amount. It's not like Zidane has given Bale an explanation and said, this is why you're not playing because of this, this and this. So Bale's in this sort of strange kind of grey zone now where he doesn't really know what's going on, but of course he doesn't need to be told because each week when there's a big game he's not put in the side. This is a situation that of course will come to a head at the end of the season, but there isn't any point and there isn't any real value in speaking up before then. But as you say, of course, there is still that Champions League final at the end of it. Now, of course, I suspect that what Gareth Bale will be thinking now is that in the best case scenario, he gets the chance to come on in the Champions League final and make a decisive impact in the final. But I don't think he starts. Now, he got the chance to start in this game with the absence of Isco through injury. Perhaps it's a slight surprise that he got the nod ahead of Asensio or Lucas Vázquez, given that they've played ahead of him recently. And yeah, maybe he did give himself the chance to at least remind Zidane that he can play, remind Zidane that he can be useful. But right now, I still think he doesn't start the Champions League final. What he has done, I think, is give himself the opportunity to come on.
No, he doesn't start the final.
No.
Doesn't
matter.
No, not by the odd goal or two. But that would, if what Sid's saying is correct, and I'm sure it is, that if there's a disconnect between the player and the manager, if it's coming from the manager's side, that would be strange to me because, or it would either tell me that he doesn't want him at the club next season. But I would find that strange to sort of ostracise somebody in terms of not talking to them, because I would have thought, with someone like Bale, even if he's not... Would you like Gareth Bale coming off the bench? As long as he was happy? I mean, what a great impact player that is to have. But enable you to do that. You've got to sort of cuddle him and cajole him in that period to make him believe that next year, you will play a little bit more next year, even though I know I'm going to put you on the bench. But then I'm going to be able to use you as a substitute. A bit like it happened at Chelsea with Fabregas for a long time and Conte's first season. But you've got to convince the player that he's going to play a major part. Now, if they're not talking at all, the player will just say, right, I'm off.
You know,
I never took you for a cuddler, by the way.
Right. Or it has to be the conversation. Look, you're going to get your times, and look, we'll work with you to find a club to move you on. Because in my understanding, he's got 3 years left on his contract. You know,
you've got to have a conversation, haven't you?
Exactly. I mean, it's similar to a point with what they did with David Beckham when they completely froze him out, but the difference was David was out of contract.
Yeah.
So he signs the pre-contract to go to L.A., then he works his way back into the team, and everyone's like, oh, we want you to stay, but it's too late. This is, when you got 3 years left on, what I'm assuming is a pretty big contract.
Yeah, of course.
They're going to go either...
Well, they'll not be coming on here anytime soon.
Either they got to use him, or they have to sell him and clear that books and get him. Because he's not going to be happy just being a bit part player for 3 more years.